Where is the wealthiest place in the world? It's not China, it's not Dubai, it's the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, you will find inventions never invented, businesses never erected, songs never sung, books never written, ideas never nurtured, people never realized. But you want to know something else? You're not in the graveyard yet. See, this present moment is so precious. We have to be here, we have to be in it and make the most of it. We have to live our dreams now because they are possible.
What up, world? Live on that with Mr. Be Great today, Lamar King Sr. Glad y'all tapped in with me. It's another all positive podcast. And Mr. Be Great today has some words of encouragement. And y'all already know, I'm just going to jump right on in. And the topic of discussion today is shaped opinions and how they are formed. Shaped opinions. So, Mr. Be Great today, what are shaped opinions? It's like the views that are prevalent amongst the general public. Is the things that are widespread acceptance or widespread rejection. It's either side. You know, in the world we live in today, you're either on this side or you're on that side. Whether it be politics, nutrition, religion, economics, you know, the list goes on and on. So how are these opinions shaped? You know, the popular or the public opinion, these shaped opinions, how are they shaped? Since the 1950s, the television has been the number one tool. The television has been used to sway the minds of the people. Now, today we have the TV, but we have TV on steroids, the internet. And the internet is a phenomenal tool. It has made the world that much smaller. It has made us to where we can buy a package in China from our living room in anywhere in the country. And also, the internet has become a tool for us to be more opinionated, pick our side and stand on it. And that's one of the reasons for the show today is, where did that opinion come from? Where did that viewpoint come from? Why do you believe the things that you do? Why do you feel this is right and that is wrong? And I'm not speaking about the obvious things. I'm speaking about things that have a lot of gray areas, just like the number of things I spoke before. Politics, nutrition, religion, economics, gender, race. All these things play a factor in today's world, and so many people are on this side and so many people on that side. So who's right? Could they both be right? Someone has to be wrong according to our logic and how we've been taught to think, right? So with the internet now, people can be more vocal, whether it be a Brittany Griner situation, I don't know, Vietnam War situation, you know, steroids of the 90s in the Major League Baseball, any and everything. Like, you can pick your side. Which one is where are you gonna stand? Where are you gonna lay? Right? But my question is, how do you get to that side? How did you end up on that side? Where did those views and those feelings and those emotions and those opinions that so strongly you believe that they are fact, where did they come from? How do you know what to be for and what to be against? Like, where did you get that information? Were you born with that information? Was that something that you came out the womb with? Or did you learn, you know, to vote Republican or Democratic over a family conversation at the dinner table? Or you learn your feelings about economics and how the society of capitalism works, and you feel a certain way based on the school you went to? Like, it's so many different things that we deal with in life. It's so many things that we encounter every day. Like, it never stops. It's a never-ending story. We're constantly being pushed and driven a certain way. It's kind of like traffic jam. We're all being pushed and trying to get in and out and trying to move, and everybody's on the go. But where do you get those opinions? Where do you get your views? How do you know you're a liberal? How do you know you're a conservative? How do you know you're a Protestant? How do you know you're a Catholic? Like, where do you get these views from? And how is it that you can have people on the same block in 4 different houses and they believe in 4 different gods, You know, they vote for 4 different politicians. They believe in 4 different types of vehicles. One family is a Toyota family. One family is a Chevrolet family. Where do these views come from? How are they shaped? How are they molded? How do you become a Ford man? How do you become a Chevy man? How do you become a woman who only, rocks Dior? Like, how do you become that type of person that you're connected to something and you feel like that's right? There's no wrong in it, right? It's kind of like McDonald's. McDonald's, we all know, is garbage food, trash, the most terrible food you can eat. But have you went past a McDonald's at 6 a.m. in the morning? It's a line wrapped around the building, and they're not there for the coffee. But we still go there. They still sell millions and millions of dollars worth of slop. They formed our ideology of, let me grab me a little quick bite. I'm gonna stop at McDonald's or any fast food for that matter. Right? It's that repeated message. That repeated message from McDonald's has shaped the opinion of their brand to the world. Regardless of what we know, we've seen people put Big Macs in their closet for 2 years. We've seen people put molten iron and pour it on top of a burger and it don't burn. But yet and still, every day I ride past McDonald's, there's a line is out in the highway. Chick-fil-A is no better. Just because they're nice, that doesn't mean it's better. Right? But it's the repeated message that shapes our opinion about what we eat. That's just how the internet works. As far as like when you search something, the next thing you know, you got ads on your news feed of that thing you just searched about. Hell, I've seen even some cases where I'm talking about something and the damn ad come up. I'm like, are they listening to me? Like, the opinion about everything is so surreal, and I don't think we don't look at it like it's real. We look at it like it ain't that serious. Even with the internet, even with social media, if it's free, guess what? You are the product. Elon Musk bought Twitter for the data, nothing else. The information, the name and the email address, and it's big business. Phone numbers, date of birth. I'm telling you, that is golden information, and information is key. But they're using the information to mold and shape us and make us see things according to how they want it to go, right? So the opinions are all shaped, I think, and more so than not, according to sources I've read, the media they have an agenda, and they have to make things look a certain way. What is newsworthy and what's not? And this is not a show about the news, but I'm just telling you how your views are shaped, how your opinions of things that so-called matter to you dearly, or so-called you stand on, the things that you stand up for. How did you come up with that idea? Now, we all can distinguish between right and wrong, but I'm saying that fine line, that gray area where a lot of people are here, a lot of people are there. How did you get there? I'm a firm believer that we've been shaped and molded to be a certain way. And I challenge my listeners to define their own path, build your own trail, lead a path so others can follow. The path that most people take is a path that's worn down and everybody then walked on it. So many people are afraid to walk out in the open field because they don't want to break the mold of those shaped opinions they've had in their environment and the habitat they've lived in had or anything. They're not eager to learn new things. There are 3 things that shape the opinions of who we are and how we do things, right? And the first one, and it's not as important as we think it is, but it's very important for children. The first thing that shapes your opinion is your habitat, your environment. As a child, they have no choice. They have to follow their parents. They got to be in a certain situation that whether they want to or not, they can't fend for themselves, as grandma used to say. And the things that you allow your child to be exposed to, the things that you allow your child to come up against at such an early age, that determines what route they often will take. Now, we've all heard success stories where, people have made it from minimal circumstances to the big leagues. They've made it to they made it to a successful life and a successful career. We've also seen people where something detrimental happens to them and they never can bounce back. Like when you're talking about the habitat and the environment, it's a 50-50 shot. You know, you got a chance to make it regardless because we've seen people who had everything going for them. We've seen people who had all the things laid out for them and somehow they fell off. So as far as your environment, I think that's a 50-50 chance. But when it comes down to children, the better the environment, the better chances they have. Right? As an adult, you have a choice. You're grown. You should, if you're trying to break the mold of those shaped opinions off your mind, you can't be afraid to move around if you need to. You can't be afraid to put yourself in a better situation. Stop trying to stick to your guns because you're trying to be so-called loyal to a situation that doesn't benefit you. And I'm not talking about relationships, because those shaped and molded opinions are also governors on the mind. You're comfortable where you've always been and doing what you've always doing and just following in the trail that's already worn down, right? Last week's show, it's not the hand that you're dealt, it's how you play that motherfucker. If you're gonna sit there and follow suit and just do what everybody else is doing and do what society says you're supposed to do, because of the opinions that you form and label them as fact, the opinions you formed about life and label them as truth. Sometimes you can tell a lie so long to yourself that you'll believe it's true. And I'm not saying we all just lying to ourselves, but there's so many things that you're hindering yourself from because of the opinions you formed at an early age, and you've grown into them, and now you believe them as fact. And it very well may be stopping you from getting to that next level. It very well may be holding you back from where you're trying to get to, because you're afraid to walk out there and wander in that grassy field. You're afraid to walk out there on your own, because that worn trail, you can always go back there. That trail is never going anywhere. That beaten path is always there. If you want to, why not try? Why not give it a chance? Why not step out on faith and stop holding yourself to the seclusion of the opinions that you've been taught about life in so many different areas, especially the areas that you're struggling in? If you're continuously trying to do or continuously going through similar situations, similar problem areas, and you're using the same solution you've used forever because that's what you've been taught and that's the way you know how to do things, I challenge you to try something totally different. I challenge you to do a 180, about face, exit stage left. I challenge you to do something that's outside of the norm. There's something that's totally uncomfortable, something that you would never do, and stretch yourself, because your body is an adapting machine. It adapts to anything that is put up against, right? It's kind of like our first classroom is in the womb of our mother. We get the first lessons in life in the womb of our mother. And here's the crazy part about it. When you're in that womb of your mother, it's in triple darkness. Everything you're learning, you're in the dark. You can't see. The first 9 months, the first trimesters of your life is in the dark. You're blind. Right? And I mention this because for those who don't know, I recently just had a daughter who was born weighing only 1 pound, 1 ounce, not able to breathe on her own. Was only 23 weeks into the pregnancy before she came. She's a miracle baby. She's a phenomenal baby. But so many lessons that she missed out on because she came early. She's at the phase now. Now she's doing great. Courtney, she's coming up on 4 months. Her actual due date was today, January 22nd. This was her actual due date. She was supposed to be coming into the world today, according to the doctors, right? But she's been in the NICU for the last 4 months. And now she's to the point where she's trying to bottle feed, and she's close to coming home, and she's doing phenomenal. She's almost 7 pounds. She's doing great things, right? But She got to learn how to bottle feed and breathe at the same time. See, these little small things are things that shaped her environment in which she would have got if she was still in her mother's womb. Because when a baby's in a mother's womb, they are inside the sac with the embryonic fluid, but they're connected with the umbilical cord where they get the oxygen, where they get the air from mom. So Courtney had to go through all these levels of oxygen from being fully, incubated or ventilated all the way up until now when she got the little nasal cannula like the old people with the oxygen tank, where she's doing about 95% of her own breathing. But she had to go through these different phases because she was no longer connected to her walking, talking, breathing, living oxygen machine, which is her mother, right? So now she's trying to learn how to bottle feed so she can, but the thing is, you got to learn how to swallow and breathe at the same time. Something that small, we take for granted. We think that's minute, but she never got that experience because she's out here in the world. She came September the 28th of 2022. And so the last 4 months, everything that she's been going through has been a simulation of what she would have been learning if she was in her mother's womb. See, the habitat of a child is very important. Just as I said earlier, her habitat should be in her mother's womb. So now we got to simulate. And shout out to Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. Some of the greatest staff, I tell you, the NICU unit, they are amazing. They are amazing. Hands down, one of the best staffs in the country. I'm willing to bet money on it. But back to my story, the thing is, the environment of children is so essential to their growth. So that's why you got to put them in a better situation. Again, back to as an adult, you can move around, right? And the second part of it is you got to be willing to learn. Even when in Courtney's situation, she would, if you're let me tell you how the mind works. In the womb, the children don't even know it's dark. The babies don't even know it's dark. They don't even know they're in fluid. So they don't even have to be conscious about, do I got to swallow and breathe? Because they can't see. That's how sharp the mind is. The body is willing to learn regardless of what. The body is willing to learn if you put it in a strenuous situation. That's the very reason why you get goosebumps. Because generally you're getting cold. The follicles on your arm constrict and generates heat. So your bodies even know when you're put in a compromising situation that it has to adapt. And it has to it knows how to learn new things, adapt to new things, adapt to new environments. See, your body is not going to let you down. It does it involuntary. It's kind of like the way your eyes blink. If you hold your eyes open, they're going to dry out. The eyes blink by their own because the body is an adapting machine. And you got to be willing to learn new things just as well as your body. If you put your body in a different environment, it's going to learn how to adapt. If you move from New York to Las Vegas, your bodies are going to adapt. Just like the goosebump comes on when you get cold. When you're out exercising, the body you sweat, so the body cools off. Right? And that's what I'm saying. But we have been programmed and shaped and informed to have a shaped or a public opinion about matters that really don't do anything for us if you want to think about it. A lot of stuff do. I'm not playing down a lot of the things that people hold in high regard. But I'm talking about the things that matter to you and affect you personally. Where did you get the idea that those things matter? Where did you get the idea that who you elect or who you vote for makes you a certain type of person? I hear it all the time. I hear it so often, especially in being a salesperson. The two things we don't talk about is religion and politics, because those are slippery slopes and you can be on the wrong side. And there's no need to talk about things that you can't build with. And I think that's what the shaped opinions becomes. Well, you either got to be on this side or that side. Or you got to be for me or against me. You got to be for this or that. It's serious. It's a challenge to maneuver in world and not have shaped opinions. It's a challenge to not feel a certain type of way about a political party when you're surrounded by it like now you think about it, you haven't heard anything from a candidate. Here it is, January 22nd. They're gone. And nobody's questioning what they're doing. Nobody's going to no type of Senate meetings or House meetings, and you're only getting snippets of it on the news. But are you going to the state capitol? But you think your vote is helping you shape the world when we're not even involved. Most of the time, we won't go back to the ballot. We won't visit politics till next November. No, 2024, when the president, everybody gonna be involved. And we feel like that matters, but we don't check on what the president or the representatives or even our local officials are doing from November to November. Because we just been trusted to believe that their opinions about life are better than our own. That's the shaped opinion we've adopted. That, hey, we the people who vote the elected officials, we free. And I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole and go, but I'm just saying, it's real. And that's all I got for y'all today, man. I really want y'all to understand that the opinions that you have, or the beliefs and the things you stand on, a lot of times are things that it comes from various of different things. It can be, again, like from the dinner table at night. It could be from the school. It can be from the job. It can be from your friends. It can be from whomever. It can be from the TV or the programs you choose to watch, the news network you choose to watch. The things that you believe that you hold true to your heart, are they truly yours? Are you walking the warm path? Are you walking out in the green pasture and doing the things on your terms? And I use the terminology on your terms often here on Air with Mr. Be Great Today, because I want you to realize that the life that has been told to you and given to you, that's someone else's story, his story. That's someone else's path to what true life is. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's not even really up for debate. It's really not even an issue if you really want to think about it. I challenge you to lean on learning new things. I challenge you leaning on changing your habitat. And I challenge you to believe in yourself more than anything. That's the most important part of defying shaped opinions, is believing in yourself enough that you know you've gotten yourself this far in life. You've made some mistakes. There's some things you probably wish you could do over. But for the most part, you've done a good job. Lean to your gut intuition about what you want in life. I challenge you to form your own lane. I challenge you to move and walk to the beat of your own drum, because the public opinion and the popular opinion and the shared and shaped opinions of the world and society, if it's not like-minded, there's no need to pick a side. This is not a sporting event. There's no need to pick a side. I think we should live in harmony, agree to disagree, and keep it pushing. There's no need to say, well, I just don't deal with you because you do this, or I don't. I think that's sickening. I think that's ludicrous. And the shaped opinions create more divide than anything. And that's why I feel like it shouldn't be a side. It should be, okay, we agree to disagree and we keep on pushing, but we can go have a beer together. We can go have a steak together or something. We still can be kosher. But oftentimes if the opinions don't line up, or the so-called facts don't line up, it's a wash. And it's sad. It shouldn't be that way. All right? So y'all make sure y'all go check me out. Mr. Be Great Today on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Great Today INC on IG. And On Air with Mr. Be Great Today on Facebook. I love you all. And you already know. Be great today. Peace.
Unique.
Purchase your tracks today.